The Youth Parliament will now consider the fifth and final motion of the day, period dignity. The full motion is printed on the order paper. But can I say a particular request? I spent 4.5 years as chair of the Women and Equalities Select Committee in this place. We considered this issue several times. But I'd be particularly delighted if Hampshire, which has always produced very high quality of MYP, could manage to find me a speaker in this debate. It's quite okay to wink, smile, nod at me if you're one of the MYPs from Hampshire. But can I call the Member of the Youth Parliament from Manchester to move the motion?
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Mothers, daughters, sisters and friends, we all know someone who has experienced the damaging effects of period poverty and the extent of harm that it can cause on both mental and physical health. If many women across the UK endure this struggle, then why should they be forced to do so in silence? Period poverty is not just a woman's issue, it is a societal failure, a failure that has impacted the lives of millions and a failure that must be resolved. The cost of living crisis has increased the price of menstrual products, proving to be unaffordable for many across the UK and only further exacerbated by the lack of support from schools and youth services to establish a regular supply of period products and support in various situations, such as even providing extra clothing. A child's economic background should never dictate their access to good quality menstrual products, yet for too many in the UK, access to these products is a privilege and not a right, evident by WaterAid's research into how 40% of young women struggle with the financial burden added to their caregiver. Should a young person really be forced to make that choice between their childhood and health? Period poverty is not just a financial burden. It is a barrier to education, to opportunity, and to basic human dignity. Why, in 2025, do we continue to treat period products as a luxury? Public spaces offer free access to soap and water, but whenever the question of including period products as a part of basic public hygiene arises, institutions and politicians remain silent. We must invest in the health and well-being of young women across the UK, moving to eradicate the years of inaction that have allowed this injustice to persist. The UK Youth Parliament must understand the seriousness of this issue and move to eradicate any areas of injustice that have persisted in the past, and campaign for education to remove thoughts of shame and invest in free period products in public spaces. I look forward to hearing the debate on this motion. Thank you.
MYP from London. Oh, sorry. That's me getting my job wrong. The general debate is now open. Call the MYP from London.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. My name is Martha and I represent Hackney in London. I am very lucky that both the primary school and the secondary school I've been to has provided free period products. However, there has always been extra barriers. In my primary school, the period products were located at the reception. To get them, you had to ask your teacher, you had to go and you had to, in a public space, ask for them. This was very hard, especially as most people in primary school didn't have their period and many people didn't even know what a period was. The same has continued to secondary school, where in order to get period products, you have to go to your head of year. I have a male head of year and an assistant head of year. He is also male. I do not mind that. But many of my friends find it very awkward. I found myself in a position where they've had to ask me to go and ask because they cannot bring themselves to do so. That is a lot of stress to be putting people under, especially when they have more important things to worry about. During our mocks, this was an issue. For our GCSEs, we should not be having to worry about something that is so core to so many of us. It is such an important issue that affects half of the people in the world, and it should be treated as such. Thank you.
The MYP from Hampshire at the end of the third row.
My name's Olivia. I'm one of the MYPs for Hampshire. I'd like to raise 2 points. Firstly, I'd like to raise the education around periods and about period dignity, how men and women are educated separately when it comes to periods and about sexual health. This is an issue from primary school to secondary school and it needs to be abolished. It doesn't allow for equal education when it comes to periods. The second point I'd like to raise is about accessibility to menstrual products. When it comes to accessing menstrual products, we allow free access slight detour, we allow free access to condoms and other sexual products to prevent contraception. But however, we don't allow free access to menstrual products, and to me this doesn't make sense. Sex is an option, menstrual cycles are not. We need to make this a clear rule. Menstrual products need to be accessible to all. Thank you.
The NYP from Northern Ireland in the grey suit, right at the end.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. 1 in 4 women in the UK have struggled to afford period products, leading to missed school, work and social events. 32% of girls and young women couldn't access free menstrual products at their school, despite existing programmes, citing previous comments about the awkwardness around that. The clear lack of respect for women, a half of the population, and the failure to provide women with the period dignity that they deserve is unacceptable. Access to hygiene products, including period products, should be a basic human right for all. If we provide free toilet paper in public spaces, we should also provide free period products. And by campaigning for and pushing for the advancement of period dignity, the UK has the potential to lead the way when it comes to period dignity. Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker.
The NYP from the North West.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'm Kelsey and I represent Lancaster and Morecambe. That time of the month, Aunt Flo or your lady days, these are just a few of the terms used to refer to a period. All women should be entitled to a stigma-free discussion surrounding menstruation without feeling embarrassed. Though a few pounds a month for menstrual products doesn't seem bad, the average woman spends around £5,000 on period products throughout her life. For low-income families and women, it's a struggle to afford such necessities. The implementation of free period products for all who needs them assures that no woman is left feeling vulnerable.
The NYP from the East of England.
Hello everybody. My name is Falak Hussain and I represent the young people of Essex. I am shocked at the economic hypocrisy. Why tax breaks for corporations but not free pads for people? Government hands out billions in corporation tax breaks every year. Yet when it comes to funding period products, in public space suddenly there's no money in the budget. Let's put this into perspective. Cutting tax for a single company can cost millions, yet providing period products in public buildings costs a fraction of that. If we have money to subsidise industries, why can't we subsidise dignity? The economy benefits and people can fully participate in work and education without interruption. So making period products free isn't just about fairness, it's about economic sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. My name is Jacob Ahmed. I'm the Member of Youth Parliament for South Tyneside. I would just like to preface by saying that as a cisgender man, I won't pretend to understand what the struggles are like for those who have periods. But what I can do is empathize. Period dignity is not a luxury, but is a fundamental human right. Too many today face period poverty and are being forced to choose between essential hygiene and other basic needs. The problem lies with businesses that are lining their pockets with profit from the exploitation of a normal biological need. These are the businesses that cause 137,000 children to miss school because they cannot afford period products. That is unacceptable. No one should miss school, work, or social activities because they cannot afford basic necessities that they should already be entitled to. True period dignity means free, accessible, good quality products in all public spaces. Prioritising this policy means prioritising public health, gender equality, and fundamental human rights. Thank you.
The NYP from Yorkshire and the Humber with the long blonde hair.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. My name is Becca and I represent Sheffield. It is evident that period products should be free, accessible and good quality. Providing period products in public spaces is paramount to ensuring equity and dignity, and most importantly, to stop it being a taboo. For too many, the sheer cost of menstrual products is a barrier to full participation in everyday life, whether at school, work, or in public settings. By providing these essential products for everyone, regardless of income, people can manage their period with confidence and without shame. This small yet impactful step is not only promotes gender equality but also creates a more inclusive society where basic needs are met and people are empowered to live their lives without unnecessary financial burdens or stigma, as they are undoubtedly a basic necessity. Thank you.
NYP from the southwest with the orangey type. Pale blue, no, 2 rows, 1 row in front of you. Pale grey suit, orange tie. Or red.
Thank you. Madam Deputy Speaker, my name is Shivan Kumar and I'm a NYP from Wiltshire. Today, many girls are left unsupported of a basic right, with thousands missing out on the opportunity to go to schools. What is this lack of respect, this lack of dignity given by society to what is 50% of the population? How do we leave them vulnerable, physically and mentally, with this stigmatized topic that leads to silence in society? For what is truly a fundamental product? How do we act with such shame, with so-called shame, for something that is not a need, but is a necessity? Truly, at its heart, period dignity is about establishing equality. Equality across the board so that everybody has the opportunity to work, play and live in the society of today.
NYP from London.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'm Megan and I represent Hounslow. For too many, having access to safe, hygienic products is a daily struggle. It keeps students out of schools, workers from their jobs, and people from living with dignity. The women's football game has led the way. They've changed the colour of their shorts from white to darker colours so the women feel more comfortable. Why can't we do this and make our girls and our women in the UK feel more comfortable by putting free sanitary products in all public spaces, just like toilet paper and soap? Dignity should not come at a price. Let us take action now. Thank you.
NYP from the Midlands in the cream blouse at the back. No. Thank you. The girl at the back with the cream blouse, bobbed hair. No, black bob.
Sorry. Hello, my name is Caitlin Monks and I'm representing Staffordshire. More than 1 in 5 people who have periods are struggling to just simply afford period products. This is more than 12% in just a year. This means we go without, bleed through, use other alternatives which are causing infections, therefore we're missing school. Not only this, but the dire inaccessibility that is threatening our day-to-day lives. Too many young people are going without a necessity. Why am I feeling like it's a luxury? I conducted a survey in my school, and 88% people said that they would use a free period product scheme. It's not something that we're just being given free. It's a necessity. How are we supposed to live without free period products? Why can't I go into the toilet and period products aren't there? This is what I'm saying today. This is a necessity, and we need to vote for this motion for change to happen. This is the dignity of young women and young girls. Thank you.
NYP from Scotland in the black jacket and the rust-coloured dress. Second row back. Row back. Yes, no, in the rust-coloured. I'm going with rust colour because we've all established I'm colour-blind.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to say I did want to throw away my shot today in this unique opportunity. So thank you. Sorry. I want to start by saying that if you were uncontrollably bleeding from, let's say, your arm, you would get immediate free treatment. Yet, when this comes to our vaginas, there is no catering for the expenses on the overtaxed, too expensive, full of chemicals products. I'm being charged for simply having a uterus. And when people who don't have the money left over for this necessity are making makeshift alternatives, I'm sure people who menstruate in this room have all done the tissue makeshift because we were inaccessible to products in emergencies. This kills a part of young people's dignity and identity. We have a right to non-discrimination, good health, and the ability to reach our full potentials. And I don't think And frankly, I don't think any of this is being met. And the government must make sure I can access all of my rights. And I do not think it is a big ask for something that is of essential health and sets people back unfairly. Now, I would like to say that my local library actually has free period products in them, and it's constantly being refilled. Why? Because it works, and it shows that it's benefited my local society and area. So please give me back my dignity. Give us back our dignity for a basic human right. I will not be satisfied until there's free period products in every public space. And I would like to invite you to vote on this as a priority, as we would not only be helping vulnerable young people, but in fact half of our population. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. In the UK alone, 2.8 million people can't afford period products. That's 1 in 5 people who menstruate, leading to people having to miss school, work and other social activities, which leads to high levels of inequality. This isn't just about inconvenience, it's about dignity, health and equality. Imagine a world where no one has to choose between buying food or buying period products, where period products are accessible in public spaces, where young people aren't ashamed to talk about periods, but are empowered to understand and manage them without fear of judgment. This isn't just a women's issue, it's a societal issue. No one should be held back by something so fundamental to human anatomy. Availability, affordability and accessibility should be at the forefront of this conversation. Thank you.
London. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'm Philia Lekai and I'm representing Haven, London. Work hard, study hard, be self-driven, and you'll get the fruits of your labour. Yeah, not all fruits are grown in the same conditions. Period tax does not discriminate. A 9-year-old will pay the same amount as a 28-year-old. Period blood is the only blood that doesn't manifest from violence. Yet it is the most demonised and stigmatised. Warfare funding is prioritised over the funding of menstrual and women's health, leaving many of us without the necessary means to go about daily life. We have liberated the word period poverty to dignity, but But in order to reach this dignity, we need to liberate ourselves. This self-fulfilling liberation may conflict with societal values and norms, having to skip school due to cramps or having to steal products to make sure they feel comfortable. If we refuse to use the word period, then please make us liberated in the sense that we are able to afford our own products and make sure that we don't need to feel excluded. Thank you.
Northwest.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, for allowing me to speak. I am Thomas Jennings, Member of Youth Parliament for the Wigan and Lee Borough in the North West. I might not be a woman, and I have never and will never go through things that women do. However, I have quite a bit of common sense. If something is inevitable and unavoidable, and somebody needs something to get through it, why are there so many barriers? Let's face it, if everybody knows of a problem that could potentially affect half of our world's population, why would you not just make the solution? Why would you not bring about the solution? It's common sense. It wouldn't be too hard to make period products free. And we have seen in many public spaces from many MYPs that have already said, it works. It's proven to work. So why don't we do it?
Speaker. I'm Candy and I represent an RCT. Period poverty is a widespread issue. It affects half the population probably, and many who are unable to afford those sanitary products use them dangerously and for longer than intended. This leads to toxic shock syndrome, which can be fatal in some cases. And about 20% of people who have periods miss school and work because they cannot afford their products. And that was researched by WaterAid. There needs to be less stigma and embarrassment around periods. It can cause so much insecurity amongst young people that they don't like leaving their houses. And it's like in my college, they have a desk thing of sanitary products, and it is constantly being refilled because it works and because it is needed. I have had enough of people not caring about these issues in any sense. Diolch, and thank you, Madam Speaker.
Lovely. Yes, the lady behind you. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. My name is Shreya Navati and I represent Kent in the South East. 466. That's the number of young people that we've got today in this chamber. It's quite full, isn't it? Well, multiply the number of young people in this chamber by 6,008.6, and you have the number of people in the UK struggling to afford period products every year. A 2023 report showed that 28% of young people aged 14 to 21 are struggling to afford period products. This is a public health crisis. Period poverty keeps young people out of schools, out of work, and out of rooms that they deserve to be in. And honestly, it's not simply about the health issues, though of course those are immeasurable. This issue is about young people's education, their future, their ability to thrive and not just survive day by day. This isn't just access to products we need, however. We need comprehensive health education on the issue, and we need to tackle the stigma so young people know where to go to look for help. We cannot just throw young people into the deep end when they're suffering with a health crisis. Stigma and suppression of active knowledge leads to a poisoned society and a toxic culture of guilt and shame for not being able to afford something so vital. NYPs, I am sick of the greatest voices of our generation missing school, sick of young people being denied basic necessities, and sick at the thought of young people having to use toilet paper and rags as makeshift period products to get by every month. This debate is not one on whether to make period products accessible. It's one about whether society is ready to evolve and uphold our civil rights. So I invite you all, NYPs, to think about this over the course of today. Are you all ready to join me?
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. My name's Ifat and I represent the fantastic borough of Tower Hamlets. However, I have some not so fantastic news. 3 million women. 3 million women struggle to afford basic sanitary and menstrual products. That's not just a statistic. Madam Deputy Speaker, that is a national disgrace. And I, like many, cannot stand to live with this disgrace anymore. Now, I am a male, and maybe I'll never go through a period. Maybe I'll never go through the pink tax. But I've not been elected to just represent those I relate to. I represent everyone. I represent everyone in my constituency that cannot afford menstrual products. I represent everyone in my constituency that is angry at the pink tax. And therefore, I ask for the government, I ask fellow NYPs to vote for the UK, to invest in the backbone of society. These are our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, and our wives that are constantly being subjected to disparity. So let's vote to give back their natural right to menstrual products, and let's vote to preserve dignity and menstrual health, for that is how we create a United Kingdom and a Great Britain. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. My name's Angela and I'm from the constituency of Sandra. So first of all, fellow NYPs, I want you to dwell on the point where I want you to all emphasise the point of no one should bleed in shame. The access to menstrual products is not a luxury, but a necessity that allows individuals to manage their periods with comfort and dignity. When people are unable to afford these products, they may feel as if they lack a necessity and may feel discomfort. Why, as a community, should we emphasise this? The access to menstrual products is not a necessity. No, it's not a luxury, but a necessity. Period dignity aims to create an environment where menstruation is not a barrier to participate in education and work life. Without the access to these products, individuals may resort to unhygienic alternates, increasing the risk of toxic shock and infections. 3 in 4 women have said 3 in 4 girls and women may have missed school due to the embarrassment and lack of resources affecting their social life, their work life and their education. No one should have to bleed in shame. Period dignity is the right to access menstrual products such as pads and tampons without financial barriers. Thank you.
Yorkshire, checked jacket, blonde hair. It is you, the lady. Go for it.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. My name is Erin Elder and I'm a Member of Youth Parliament for Doncaster. On average, a person spends around 48 days a year on their period. That's nearly 10 years over a lifetime. Yet many experience this significant portion of their lives without access to essential period products. We know young people often feel embarrassed to ask for products and use toilet paper as an alternative. Pads and tampons are not luxuries, they are necessities. They are designed to provide the protection needed to prevent leakage, something toilet paper simply cannot do. And as you will soon see, the costs add up quickly. A year's supply for one person of pads can cost around £30. What about the few pads they share to their friends in need, or to a woman they see on the street? The expenses just keep on rising. Periods are natural, they are not optional. For too long, period products have been treated as non-essential. A tampon is a necessity. A bar of chocolate is a luxury. So why does a box of tampons often cost more than a bar of chocolate? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. My name is Stephen Adenuga. I'm the NYP for Darlington. In the UK today, roughly 1 in 5 young women struggle to afford period products. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a barrier to education, work and dignity. No one should have to skip school, miss out on opportunities, or feel shame simply because they menstruate. Providing free, accessible, high-quality period products isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. We already accept essentials like toilet paper as a given. Why should period products be any different? Ensuring access to them helps tackle period poverty, promotes gender equality, and removes the stigma that still surrounds menstruation. Scotland has already led the way with free period products in public spaces. If we truly care about young people's well-being and equal opportunity, the rest of the UK will follow. Period dignity is not up for debate, and it's time for action. Let's make free period products a reality for all. I urge the House to stand in favour of this motion and vote in favour of this. Thank you.
I call the member of the Youth Parliament from Plymouth to conclude the debate.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I would like to invite the members to observe this chamber. So, the microphones that amplify our voices, the chair who upholds order, the benches arranged where we may challenge and be challenged. Notice that every element here is designed with a purpose. But outside these walls, in the world beyond, design is not always so impartial. We have systems to make life easier, safer, but who are they for? Who is included in that blueprint and who is expected to adjust? Because I consider menstrual care a basic human right, but as it stands, the law doesn't agree with me. For women, period products are a hygienic necessity, as simple as soap and water. You wouldn't charge anyone to wash their hands, but when it comes to periods, we hesitate, we debate, we delay, we justify inaction with bureaucracy. But what does that inaction look like? It looks like students and employees missing work and school, shelters unable to provide to their vulnerable, women choosing between buying the next meal and buying a pad. Well, menstruation is a biology, not a bill. And period poverty evidently isn't a distant problem, it's a daily crisis. And it quietly steals dignity, opportunity, and freedom. And in a world where seatbelts are designed for male bodies and drugs are tested on male biologies, the message, spoken or unspoken, is clear. That the experiences of women, the needs of women, are secondary. A favour to be negotiated, a cost too expensive to pay, not a right to be guaranteed. So this debate about period accessibility is not an oversight, it's not a one-off, it's a pattern. a symptom of a world designed for half of its population. Because a society that truly believes in equality does not force people to adapt to a system that ignores them. It adapts to them. Dignity should not come with a price tag, so neither should a tampon or a pad. So I ask this House not whether we can afford to act, but whether we can afford not to. Thank you very much.
The debate has been incredibly impactful.